my name is Lori Welch. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the City of Lansing. We are gathered here today at our municipal utility building from the Lansing Board of Water and Light here because we've gotten some really exciting news recently from the Federal Highway Administration. We are going to be receiving an $8 million grant for the City of Lansing and the surrounding regions and our other partners such as the Board of Water and Light and the Lansing School District. And we are going to do some really exciting community engagement around the development of community EV charging stations, so electric vehicle charging stations. And so we are going to want to hear from Lansing residents about what they're looking for and what's going to work for them, and helping us to prioritize the locations of these charging stations. We are going to install up to 50 charging stations in the greater Lansing area. And we're going to be doing some exciting education and outreach just so that people can understand a little bit more about electric vehicle and their technology. So we are so excited to be partnering with everybody in the region. And we're thrilled to have gotten this funding from the federal level that will allow us to really make the City of Lansing and the whole region much greener.
Well, good morning. I'm Jeremy Garza. I'm the Lansing City Council President. I'm proud to be here today. I'm at the Board of Water and Light, the Rio Town Station. We are here really excited about the $8 million investment coming from the Department of Transportation. Hopefully we can have a great partnership with the Michigan Building Trades, the IBEW, the people that are trained, the trained specialists that will work on this project. We have the most outstanding apprenticeships in Michigan, and I'm looking forward to partnering with them. Come to Lansing, visit Lansing, you can charge your cars here, and much more.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. As the folks from Lansing know, I love to start on time, so we're gonna do that. Boy, I can't even explain how excited I am to be here today. Thank you to the Board of Water and Light for hosting us, our hometown power. We are tremendously appreciative of them. We are tremendously excited today to welcome the U.S. Department of Transportation to Lansing to make this important announcement. We are proud to be the lead applicant together with several partners in implementing this exciting new project that lays out a concept for growing publicly available electric vehicle charging by at least 25% in Lansing, and alternative fueling infrastructure for commercial and fleet vehicles in Michigan's capital region. I will remind everyone that when you look at Lansing, we are the future of what's coming in this economy. We're going to be making batteries right here at Ultium, along with GM in Lansing, and we had a $2.7 billion grant announcement from GM. We are expecting cars to be made with battery technology right here in Lansing. But when you make the batteries and you have the cars, you have to have the EV infrastructure. And now we're going to have much more of that as well. We're already doing a lot of this. We've got our tentative electrical vehicle charging map up on the wall, and I can give you all a list of the many spaces that we're implementing to make sure we've got it here in Lansing as people have those cars and need to charge them up, have the fleet and the vehicles. So we see ourselves as kind of the full package. We are going to be doing all three parts of it: create the batteries, create the cars, and have the infrastructure to charge. We're not doing it alone as the City of Lansing. We have many partners. So I do want to thank our partners, the City of East Lansing, Meridian Charter Township, Williamstown Township, the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission, the Michigan Clean Cities Coalition, our State of Michigan Department of Transportation, our Lansing Board of Water and Light, our school district. They were all partners in the grant application. I also would be, I have to recognize our grant writers. I can tell you I've gotten a few calls over the last few days as word has leaked out, people who have called and said, oh my God, you beat a lot of other entities for this. How did you do it? So certainly we're going to keep some of those secrets to ourselves. I want to recognize, I see Councilman Jeremy Garza, our council president, standing in the back. Thank you, Councilman. We've got, again, many of our partners, our labor partners are here. I see the IBEW. So this has been just an incredible effort. An incredible effort. And again, I'll thank the Board of Water and Light. We have several of our commissioners here. Thank you, commissioners. The dollars here will be used to conduct, they'll be used for a variety of things. They'll be used to conduct a planning and development initiative that includes feasibility studies and stakeholder planning processes to engage the public, as well as our private sector stakeholders. We want to make sure we have equitable electric mobility development here in Lansing. We're going to have activities that contribute to a broad understanding. People have to understand why this is important, understand the electric mobility options. We're going to do outreach and an education campaign in the region. We're going to talk about electric mobility, transportation decarbonization, and all the different projects itself. Again, you can't just have it, you have to explain why this is tremendously important and why it's the future of our economy. Our project team is going to install up to 50 electric vehicle supply equipment, the EVSEs to be sited at various locations throughout our region, throughout the city of Lansing, East Lansing, surrounding municipalities. So this is truly a regional effort, and it's a great one and a successful one. We're going to expand community-based infrastructure. We're going to fill the gaps, what I've already talked about, with the equitable expansion of our charging and fueling infrastructure in our community locations. We're going to be at parking facilities, public buildings, public schools, parks, and other accessible areas. By envisioning the charging, fueling, planning, and deployment through our lens of our full transportation ecosystem, our project team is going to bring electric and alternative fuel mobility for the benefit and use of all by putting these technologies into the full suite of transportation modes that we use in the region while ensuring safety and other important pieces for our citizens. So I also want to mention that our City of Lansing Public Service Department with Andy Kilpatrick, who's our director, is here, and many of our staff are here. They are part of the inaugural cohort of the U.S. Department of Transportation Thriving Communities program. So we continue to do more and more in this area. Lansing is proud to be a leader. I always say Lansing's time is now, and this is the next piece to prove that. This isn't the future, this is what we're going to do now. And when you add to that $8 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation, that will show the importance. Finally, I want to thank our president. Without the bipartisan infrastructure law, which I advocated for, I was in D.C., I was talking to our U.S. senators. I was there for the signing of the bill when the president signed the bill. My only time I've been to a bill signing in D.C. was for the bipartisan infrastructure law. And at the time, we said this is going to be transformational for our nation. And President Biden hit the nail on the head, you know, when he said, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. It's going to help labor and our trades to, for jobs. It's going to help our communities. It's going to help us with renewable energy. It's going to really check all the boxes. And here we are, not because I was in DC for this bill signing, but because our people did a great job. But here we are getting $8 million for our city and our region to actually implement what we talked about. It's always great to talk about it. It's always great to be there for the bill signing and be, the words are great, but to see the actions and to see people coming into Lansing and having this infrastructure is tremendous. So I want to thank our president for making this a priority and for pushing it forward and for getting us the money. And now, Mr. President, we're gonna show you what we can do with these dollars. That being said, I would like to introduce our Federal Highway Administrator, who is here. We greatly appreciate you joining us here in the city of Lansing. So, Mr. Batt, if you will join us, say a few words. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It is wonderful to be in Lansing. I actually live in Michigan, and so it's great when I can come home and make these announcements. And Mayor, I don't want you to sell yourself short. The president said, but for your support, the bill would not have passed. So thank you for that. It's been a big week for Michigan, this week. But looking at this map back here, what I'm really excited about is that my wife actually graduated from Michigan State, and so the more we can go green on this map, the more we're going to, See, somebody from Michigan wouldn't know that, right? So it is great to be here, and on behalf of President Biden and Secretary Buttigieg. Just incredibly excited to be out this week. We're actually announcing nationwide $623 million in funding for electric vehicle charging stations. And, Mayor, you talked about the battery plant that is going to be built here in Michigan and the manufacturing that's going to take place. 2 years ago when the bipartisan infrastructure law was announced, there was no domestic manufacturing for EV chargers. And so today, because of the bipartisan infrastructure law, because of the president's call to renew manufacturing in this country, there are now 26 sites in the United States where EV chargers are going to get built. And so we're not only investing in the automotive industry for the 21st century, but the president is very committed to making sure that America leads in EVs. And, they've gotten a little bit political the last while, what hasn't in this country. But, when I talk to Governor Whitmer, she's incredibly excited about manufacturing electric vehicles. You know who else is really excited about it? The governor of Alabama, which is a pretty red state, but they're very excited about it. So, whether it's a battery manufacturing plant in Lansing or in Nevada, Americans, regardless of their political background, are benefiting from the bipartisan infrastructure law. And that's what we're incredibly excited about, because when you think about the future in the 21st century, I love the old train station that is right outside here. And, back in the day, that was the only way to get freight and people around. And in the 21st century, EVs, and about 10% of vehicle sales now are electric vehicles. We're going to get more and more of them out there. We want to make sure that people will have the ability to charge those vehicles as more and more of them become part of the American fleet. And so, we are really excited about all of the investments that the bipartisan infrastructure law is making in Michigan and across the United States. Incredibly excited to see this $8 million turn into up to 50 chargers here in the Lansing area, and we're going to continue with the work with our partners, with MDOT, the NEVI funding that's out there. We're going to continue to make sure that we're building chargers here in America so that the American public can continue to benefit from them. So thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I am Dick Peffley, CEO of the Lansing Board of Water and Light, and what an exciting day to be here. I'm so happy for the city of Lansing to be receiving this electric vehicle charging station grant. And I can tell you that the Board of Water and Light is prepared and ready to supply clean energy to run those chargers out there. So we're off and running there. We're also excited to be part of this process because it'll bring more accessibility to the area for folks that want to come live, work, and visit the Lansing area so that they don't have to look for these charging stations. They're going to be right out in front of them. So we're very pleased for that. These type of grants also help us move towards our very aggressive commitment of carbon neutrality by 2040 for this utility. Now, we also kicked off a program called Hometown Charge, Hometown Ride, and if you're a commercial or industrial customer and want to install a level 2 charging station at your home or your business, we can save you money on that. Just log on our website, get more details, and we'll be happy to help you with that. So, it's my honor to introduce our next speaker, James Leonard from Michigan Clean Cities.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for being here. As just mentioned, my name is Jamie Leonard, and I'm with the Michigan Clean Cities Coalition. We are so proud to have partnered with the City of Lansing on this project the past few years. For a bit of background on us, our coalition is a nonprofit organization that works with the U.S. Department of Energy with publicly and privately owned fleets around the state of Michigan to help them lower their greenhouse gas emissions. We also partner with municipalities such as the City of Lansing to help plan the infrastructure that's going to enable such a transition. And I want to start first and foremost by thanking Lori Welch, Sustainability Manager at the City of Lansing, because without her hard work and leadership, we just would not have got this far. And without it going forward, we won't get any further. So thank you, Lori, and stick around for the ride. So for a little bit of the history on this project, we've been at it for about 3 years now. And when we started, all we had really was the idea to start investing in public EV charging, but we quickly realized we need to have a lot of people at the table. As the mayor mentioned, we ended up getting sign-on from the utilities, from the cities of Lansing and East Lansing, Meridian Township, Williamstown Township, the planning organizations. But in our meetings, while we were still planning, we not just met with the utilities, but also representatives from the school districts, from different community members who wanted to talk to us about how this could benefit their neighborhoods. And we were fortunate that as we had these people on our Zoom calls, they met us not just with enthusiasm, but a fair bit of skepticism and critique as well. And that's what allowed us to be so well informed by our community. What we realized is that we have to bring the infrastructure to the people rather than force them to drive to it. If you look at our map, we're going green quite well, which I love, but all of the green chargers that are currently in the ground are centralized. And if you look at the yellow ones that we've got tentatively planned, it's more spread around. It's in the neighborhoods and it's in the communities and it's where it's most accessible to the most people. The reason for that is that as more and more hybrid electric and battery electric vehicles hit the roads, they're demonstrating their viability as a tool that we have to lower our greenhouse gas emissions. It's a technology that's here, now, and it's projects like these that are going to make it accessible to a wider range of people. So as we start to get this together, get this map together, meet with site hosts who are eager to provide this charging, in the school districts to their employees and to their parents and to workplaces eager to provide as an amenity to their employees, we ran into the small problem of funding. And it was right about then that the DOT opened up this great program, and we were so excited to get our project in front of them, and we're glad that they were at least a little bit excited about it too. And what's so important about funding like this is that it really helps local governments like the city of Lansing realize the vision of their community members. Because this is just the beginning. As previously stated, this all starts with the planning period. We want to hear from community members where this investment ought to take place so it can benefit them the most. Investments like these are so important because they empower local governments like the city of Lansing to shape a cleaner future for their residents and for the entire state. For that, I'll give it back to Mayor Shore to close us out before we all get snowed in here. Thank you so much.
All right, well, I appreciate all the speakers. I fail to recognize our superintendent of education is here as well. The school district was a tremendous partner. I'm sure I missed others, so if I did, I apologize. With that being said, do you want to take questions, or do we have questions for any of the panelists? I know we're going to do a photo op, but are there any questions, or we can move right to one-on-ones? Look at that, we've hit it all. We got everything. Thank you all for being here, and another exciting announcement in the city of Lansing. We appreciate all the partners, and for the media, you're welcome to hit us up for one-on-ones. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, I am Dick Peffley, the General Manager of the Lansing Board of Water and Light, and we're gathered here today to celebrate the grant for EV vehicle charging stations that the City of Lansing just landed. Beat out other cities across the country. We are very pleased to be a part of this, and as the city starts to install these charging stations, the Board of Water and Light is prepared to supply clean energy to run those chargers. These types of grants really help us move towards our aggressive goal of carbon neutrality by 2040, and we're excited to participate in this because locating these chargers throughout the Lansing area allows customers, residents, employees to come down and not have to look for a place to charge their cars. We want this city to be inviting. This is a huge step, and we couldn't have done it without this grant.
Shailen Bhatt, Federal Highway Administrator, super excited to be here in Lansing today for our announcement for $8 million for charging infrastructure that's going to be built. And I want to be very clear that even though my wife went to Michigan State, that played no role in selecting this location, but really congratulations to the city. The city was successful in receiving an $8 million CFI grant, huge demand all across the country. And so we're super excited because Lansing was able to tell such a compelling story of what they would do with the funding. And as somebody who lives in Michigan, I know a governor who cares deeply about this, the mayor cares about this, and a president who is providing the Investing in America agenda that Lansing is benefiting from.
Well, we're here in Rio Town at the Lansing Board of Water and Light headquarters, announcing an $8 million grant from the federal government so that we can put EV chargers all throughout the city. Lansing is a leader when it comes to this new technology, which is necessary for our future. We're going to be making the batteries here in Lansing. We're going to be making the cars here in Lansing, and now we're going to have the infrastructure to be able to service those who come to Lansing. So, you know, our message is everybody come to Lansing. You'll have the ability to charge your car and shop in our stores, and you can do it throughout our city. Downtown is great, but you can come down on the south side or on the west side or on the east side, because we're going to have these all over the place. So we're going to be ready for the future, and I'm tremendously excited. I'm appreciative. President Biden pushed and pushed for this infrastructure law. We got it bipartisan, so it's a bipartisan infrastructure law. And with the president's work and our Secretary of Transportation's work, Lansing has been prioritized with this grant. So $8 million from our federal government is going to do wonders for our city. We talk about it, and now we're going to show action. So I'm tremendously excited, tremendously appreciative of our president and everything that he has done to advocate for this. And Lansing is going to be the leader once again, and Lansing's time is now.